Pulling off Highway 1, Devin Davis turned into the Harbor Beach parking lot and into a space facing the water. Lowering the windows, she turned off the engine and leaned her head back. Closing her eyes, she inhaled deeply, filling her lungs with salty ocean air. The familiar scent was calming after the 4-hour drive. Exhaling slowly, she opened her eyes. The view was stunning. The fiery orange sun was just beginning to sink below the surface of the water, painting the sky in brilliant shades of lavender, orange, and pink. A weight settled on her as she watched a handful of surfers out in the frigid water, hoping to catch one last ride before darkness overtook them. Her mind flashed to her best friend, Melissa, insisting on one last ride as the sun set 10 years ago. She forced the memory back into its box where it belonged. Returning to Morro Harbor was the last thing she wanted to do. There was nothing here for her except grief and guilt. She was sure only her grandparents would welcome her. In fact, being back would only stir up memories she was sure most people in Morro Harbor wanted to keep buried. Her father's sudden death, however, left her little choice but to return. She was his only family, so arrangements fell to her. Taking one last look at the incoming tide, she pulled out of the parking lot and back onto the highway. Taking the Main Street exit, she drove past Morro Harbor High School. The lights on the football field were just coming on. She almost let herself smile at the memory of the years she'd played soccer there, but she stopped herself. Pushing away the ghosts of the past, she took the next right and headed to Smith Mortuary, the only game in town. Climbing back into her Jeep 90 minutes later, she leaned her head back and closed her eyes. Making the funeral arrangements had been harder than she'd imagined. She had hoped it would be a simple, emotionless transaction. It was anything but. The funeral home triggered memories of the day she and her father walked through the same door to make the arrangements for her mother. It was eerily quiet, and the sickly floral smell of irises and roses roiled her stomach. She was thankful she hadn't eaten anything since she'd left the Bay Area. When the single chime over the door sounded, the same reed-thin man in a black suit and tie appeared, just as he had 12 years ago. He had a head full of gray hair now, but the suit and tie looked exactly the same. Just like he had done years ago, Mr. Smith ushered her into the coffin room. She quickly explained that her father wanted to be cremated, and since she was spreading his ashes in the ocean, she didn't need an expensive urn. The man had looked disappointed, but nodded and showed her to the small display in the back corner. She chose the least ostentatious, simple black box, signed countless pieces of paper, barely reading them, wrote a check, and practically bolted for the door.